Hey, it's your boy Bonte83 for Successful Convicts, and today we have yet another interview with a successful convict. So, if you haven't already, for some strange reason, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave me a comment, because comments are important, because it helps me bring you the content that you like. Hey, it's your boy Bonte83 for Successful Convicts, and we have another interview, this time with a woman who's an ex-convict. But she's successful because, as you see, she's sitting right here. So we'll dive right into it. What's your name and where you from?
Hi, my name is LaTisha, and I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Born and raised on the north side.
North side, okay. Now, tell us, what was life for you growing up? How was life?
As a child, it was good. Had a good mother, good father. Good.
Okay, you grew up on the north side of Minneapolis?
Born and raised.
And what was that like? Because we know...
It was exciting.
We know what it's like now.
Yeah,
but
being on Plymouth Avenue, like when I was like 14, 15, 16, I couldn't wait to get on Plymouth Avenue for Prince, for the parades, for the marching bands, for to win a bike, for, just to have the king on wings, the 3 wings for $1, and aluminum foil. You know what I mean? It was awesome.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade it in.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, Now, what led you to crime and ultimately to prison?
Well, I did a credit card fraud.
Okay.
And so when I went to do a credit card fraud, I did my own I did my own checks, not a credit card fraud. I did my own checks and I signed my own checks. And I was young, I was 18. So when I went to court, the judge taught me a lesson. He said, well, I'm going to send you to the workhouse for 30 days.
Okay.
And I said, okay. So when I got to the workhouse for the 30 days, they went into a modified lockdown.
And what's that?
That means that a lady was fighting a guard. So that meant the whole 30 days I was in the workhouse, I was in my cell for 23 hours.
Oh, okay. So it's cells in the workhouse?
There's yeah, it's a cell. It's like
I've never been in the workhouse.
Yeah, it's a cell. It's like a door. It's like a cold-hearted door. Like
it's kind of like a room.
Yeah,
but it's locked. You locked in.
And you locked in.
Okay.
And you got a window.
And everybody in the workhouse, y'all get out to go to work?
No, and you got to be on work release to go to work.
Oh.
So I was in the workhouse.
Okay.
So that's like a jail.
Okay.
A women's jail.
For people with not that much time.
Well, yeah.
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 I think prison. I think you go to prison like.
Well, you gotta have a year and a day.
At least a year. Yeah, a year and a day.
Year and a day. You gotta have a year and a day to go to prison.
Okay, so that led you, and then what happened after that? What led you?
Well, when I did the 30 day, when I did the modified lockdown, and I did that, then I ended up doing some things I shouldn't have did in my life.
Of course.
That got me to lead me to where I ended up going, because when I went to the workhouse, I was on probation, so then I kept having UAs and UAs and UAs. So then my probation officer...
Dirty UAs?
Dirty UAs.
Okay.
So then my probation officer told me to execute. So I didn't know what execute meant.
Okay, explain it to us.
Execute means that the judge can only tell you to execute or your probation officer can. Okay. So she asked me to, because she wanted me out of her hair because I was a problem.
Oh, okay.
So she said, hey, let me get you out of here. And so the next time I had a dirty UA, I went to court, and she said, I'm sending you to Shakopee to execute.
So did you give the dirty UA on purpose, just so you can execute?
No.
Oh, okay. Because, I know, like, I know a lot of people in the federal system, they have what they call the old law and the new law. So, like, under the old law, it was something to the effect, because I was under they had the old law, the new law, and then the new law. So I was under the new law. And under the old law, something to the effect of you get out, you violate, you go back for a little bit, and then when you get out, all the paperwork and all that stuff is squashed, you free. So a lot of dudes was getting out, and then they'd go do a petty violation. Like I'm saying, they would go get a dirty UA just so they can clear out all the paperwork. They just come back and do the violation, rather than to go out there and be on probation and have to walk on
and have someone telling you
right.
What
So
to
that's
do.
I'm saying. That's why I asked, did you do it on purpose?
No,
One trying
I
to be
didn't.
funny. Okay.
So I didn't.
So now, Shakopee prison. It's a women's prison, correct?
Right.
Okay. What was your first day like?
Well, the first day was really, really. They have a 5-minute movement, and 5-minute movements means that you have one place to get to in 5 minutes.
Right.
So when I walked in,
And
they
that's state, right? State prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, and the one thing about what I noticed about being and going to DOC, Department of Corrections, is that once you enter to their domain, you're theirs. Like the Hennepin County doesn't have nothing to say to you. Department of Correction owns
It's
you.
a whole nother
They
level.
give you that number.
Right.
They give you that, and they slam that door on you, and it's just like it's their world. Like it's just like a feeling like, what did I just do to myself?
Right.
What did I just walk into? Like they just slammed the door on me. Like I'm not a human being.
Right, and you in there, you can't get out. I mean, you could, but you gotta escape.
I gotta wait for that day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just like, I cried. I asked the lady to please call her probation officer.
This was in the intake?
In the intake. Please call her probation officer. I said, I think I made a mistake. She said, no, you're Department of Correction. And remember this number, 1566688. I had to remember that number. And she told it to me one time.
Wow.
And that was, and then when I got suited and booted and I walked through, I seen all these women, beautiful black women. I mean, people I know. Like, we're sitting up in this
Hadn't seen them in years.
I ain't seen them in years. And then I walked through and I'm just like, I'm shaking like,
So you were scared?
Very.
Okay.
I was frightened for what was becoming was becoming of me.
Your new life, so to speak.
What I'm facing right now.
Right.
We're talking about some women here now that have been locked up in here for over 15, 20 years. So I'm walking through, and it's like what am I to them? So I had to learn. And when I walked through, and I went in, and I went to Bookman because they're cottages. They're named after famous black women.
Wow.
Bookman, Harriet Tubman.
Really?
Yes, famous women.
Wow.
So yeah. So then, when I took off, they said 5-minute movement. So when I took off, just had been in there like an hour, 2 hours. They opened the door and they said 5-minute movement. I took off running. And through the whole thing, everybody's telling me through the courtyard.
Don't run.
Stop running, stop running. But I didn't think they were talking to me. So then when I turned and I got to that door to get in, and they had the shotguns on me, because that could have been an escape charge.
Right. Wow.
So when they had the shotguns on me, and I looked back, and they had everybody laid on the ground in the courtyard.
For you.
For me, running. And they were all telling me. I learned a valuable lesson that day, though. I never ran again, and I focused on me that day. I had to deal with my situation and learn how to deal with it.
Yeah. How long was you sentenced?
8 months.
8 months.
I was sentenced a year and a day, but you only do 8 months.
Off of that, yeah.
Then I went to a halfway house.
Okay. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Right.
So your first,
yeah,
your first couple hours, you almost got laid down.
Wait, finna be locked down for real. Man, you told me, I said, let me get it together. Okay. And I did.
Okay, now, what was the worst thing you saw in them?
The worst thing I saw was black women, so many black women in prison. And they're so strong. Like murder, like assault, like strong crimes.
Right.
Like, and they're beautiful, and like they can sing in church, and they're Christian ladies. I mean, got voices. And the hardest thing was to see that they got all this, and they're in here doing this.
Just wasting away, basically.
Just wasting away.
Was it a lot of like women that you had heard about, or women that you had knew from the streets?
I knew, but I never knew that they could sing.
Right.
I never knew that they loved Jesus. God, you know what I mean?
Right.
I never knew. And I knew when that voice came out, I mean, it's just like,
right.
I mean, things come to people in ways, like your life could be good this moment, and then in a second, it can turn.
Yeah.
A second
For
will
the
take you, I mean, your day could be perfectly fine, and then the next day, you're sitting somewhere, like, what just happened?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then you're facing all this time.
Yeah, you facing shotgun.
Right, and you're running.
Yeah, that's
and I was
crazy.
running for my life.
Yeah.
But guess what? I learned a valuable thing there.
What was that?
I never want to go back.
No doubt, no doubt. So that brings us to our next question. Now, what was it like walking out of there?
It was awesome. You know what? Guess what? And I'm going to tell you this. Me and my auntie were in prison, the same prison.
At the same time?
At the same time, guess what? They said, Barry 1, wrap it up. Barry 2, wrap it up. We both got out on the same day.
Oh, y'all got lucky. So, did y'all get out at the same time?
The same time.
You know what? And I was always told that they never let two people leave at the same time.
Yeah, they do.
Well, maybe that's just federal.
Right, federal, that's different.
Because I know, yeah, in the feds, two people can get out at the same time, but instead of y'all getting out, like one would have got out at 10, and the next one would have got out at 12 or something like that. Okay.
We walked out together.
Oh, that was cool. And y'all wasn't co-defendants, was y'all?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's odd. Yeah. Y'all getting out the same. So y'all had the same ride, I assume.
Yeah.
So versus walking in, what was your thoughts walking out?
I don't ever want to come back here. But then I learned a valuable lesson with me though. I learned how to love me and trust me, and to value who I am.
Right.
And how I don't want no one to ever take what I can do for me. They can't tell me what I can and can't do. I don't ever want someone to ever do that to me again.
Right.
That's the worstest feeling. For someone to tell you when you can walk, talk, piss, and do anything and eat, and how much you can eat, and what time you got to get up off that table.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to go through that again.
Yeah.
They don't have the power of that. I have the power of me.
Okay, now, explain to us now, what you got going on now. Like, you're not in there. I mean, and I have to explain this to people all the time. Because, in doing these interviews, I know it's a lot of people who've been where we've been. We've both been locked up. So, people have this misconception that being successful is, working this big time job or making all this money with your own business or doing this and doing that. And I say no, being successful is, like I said,
how you think about yourself?
Just being right here and not in there.
I'm successful right here, right now.
You're successful because you're not in prison. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm successful while smiling right now.
Exactly.
I'm successful looking like I look.
Yeah. So, give some advice to somebody who's just getting out. They just walked through those doors. They just got told to pack it up. They just getting out and they watching this video. What can you share with them so that they can stay successful?
I would say let the past be the past and move forward. And have strength, love, hope, and faith, and you can do anything. And just look at you in the mirror and know what you're about. And know your self-worth and your self-esteem and your strength. And you can do anything with that. I just give you that much.
Well, on behalf of Successful Convicts, this is your boy Bonte 83. This is LaTisha. And that's a wrap. Hey, it's your boy Bonte 83, and we want to salute to LaTisha for that bomb interview. Short, sweet, to the point. But the most important part, she's successful. and you can be too. Because here at Successful Convicts, we promote success from our fellow convicts. Just because you was convicted don't mean you ain't nothing. You're still succeeding in life, and sky's the limit. But before we go, I know you hit that subscribe button, right? Yeah. And I know you're gonna like this video, right? Go ahead and hit like if you haven't done so already. And man, feel free, leave a comment. Tell us what you liked about the video. Tell us what you didn't like about the video. Tell us what kind of videos you want to see. And if you would like to be featured on these interviews of Successful Convicts, hit me up at successfulconvicts@gmail.com, and we'll get together some kind of way, if not in person, through the computer, and your video could be on this channel.